Guys, welcome back to this episode of Pinball A Movie. In this episode, we'll be discussing the film Maverick from 1994, and then we'll talk about the pinball machine that was inspired from the film itself, released by Daddy East. Talk a little bit about some of the facts about the movie itself. So the movie released in theaters nationwide in 1994, and it was directed by a man named Richard Donner. While I was doing my research on the movie, I came across a list of other films that he directed, including the Lethal Weapon movies, which also star Mel Gibson, Superman movies, and The Goonies, among others. And I want to bring this up because I think being familiar with directors and their movies can give you an idea of what to expect from the films. And that is to say, usually if you enjoy films from one director, you might find another film from the same director that you also like. It's not always the case because, different films have different themes and, are different, projects. But sometimes with similar directors, you get similar taste and feel for the movies. And I bring up directors such as Tim Burton, directors like Tim Burton who have their own style. So, watching this movie Maverick, directed by Richard Donner, because I enjoyed it, it makes me want to see the other movies that he's been a part of, and see if they're in this, if they're just as enjoyable. And so probably I'll end up watching the Lethal Weapon movies because they're also inspired on a pinball machine from Daddy East. But I definitely just wanted to bring that up because directors and movies really go hand in hand. It's really good to know directors and kind of what they've worked on, to help you find out what you like in movies. Why do some people like certain directors over others? And I think that's the cool thing about cinema in general. But probably the most important fact that I want you to take watching this episode is that this movie was actually based on the original TV show called Maverick, which ran from 1957 to 1962. And that show was produced by someone named Roy Huggins. Now, this movie actually turned out to be a box office hit, and I think a lot of that success you can attribute to the stout cast. Really, Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Garner stole the show and ran away with it. Just their chemistry overall was really good, especially between Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster. It was like a match made in heaven. And something that's interesting is actually James Garner was the main protagonist in the original TV show. So to see him come back and play this movie on the big screen was really cool, I thought. As well as the main actors, this movie also had a lot of cameo appearances from other Western actors and country singers. But for me, the most notable cameo was definitely by the appearance of Danny Glover. And so seeing Danny Glover in the film was like really funny to me. Even though I've never seen the Lethal Weapon movies, I just knew what it was based on. And so his cameo is really a reference to those movies, which was also directed by Richard Donner. So really cool. Really, I love when movies kind of do that, referencing other movies, but they're doing it in a way like this. And it makes me want to watch the Lethal Weapon series because I think one of the reasons why those movies were so good was because of the duo between Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. Apparently they're a very dynamic duo and very iconic. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching some of those movies and then doing a pinball movie for it. But yeah, just really cool to see that little cameo appearance. Another thing that made this movie really outstanding and set it apart was The set design was gorgeous. You really felt like you were in the shoes of, you were in the Wild West. Also, the costume designs. You look at what Mel Gibson was wearing, what Jodie Foster was wearing. Really, you can tell that the people responsible for the costume design really did their research of how things were being tailored in, the old days of the Old West, right? The gold mining in the West. And so a lot of the scenes in the movie were actually shot in places such as Utah, Arizona, California, and Oregon. But the reason why this movie is worth a watch, to me, is because it challenges your expectations. Like I said in the beginning, you think you're going to watch a strictly Western film, but you end up with a lot more than you expect. Because you realize as you watch, it's not just a Western film. It's not a strictly Western film. Sure, it has elements of Western films, but it's definitely not that. And that's why this movie is a lot better than you'd think. So it's one of the reasons I'm glad I watched it. The reason why I'm glad I watched it is because the major theme of this film is really about deception around gambling and poker. And so along the way, you encounter a lot of plot twists. Heavy plot twists in this movie. The movie itself becomes sort of a guessing game, as if you're kind of playing poker just by watching it. You don't know you don't really know what's happening, but you kind of have your hunches, right? And so I think that's what Richard Donner did really well in, directing this film, is that he made it seem like the experience of the viewer really became like a poker game, right? The movie also does a great job introducing people to high stakes poker and getting them interested. Like, as I was watching, I researched, like, what are some of the great poker hands? What hand beats other hands, right? And so this film is actually based on the simplest type of poker. There are multiple, variations of poker games, but this one was based on 5-card draw. There's other ones like Texas Hold'em and a few others. I'm not even sure their names. I think 5-card stud or something. But you also, as you watch, you do learn some poker lingo. And one of the things that this movie really did well was introduce the concept of tells, which is something that poker players unconsciously do that tell other players if they're bluffing. And so that's what, this movie really is based on. It goes beyond poker because you can bluff, and in life in general, people don't just bluff or in poker. People bluff in real life, and you can always find tells, and that's what I really liked about this movie. Mel Gibson said it best. He said, "To be a good poker player, you have to be observant." So as you watch the movie, you are observing everything that's going on and trying to sort fact from fiction. And all in all, that's reasons why I think this movie is worth a watch. It doesn't get a lot of the credit it deserves because it's not what you expect, and that's what makes it so good. Also, I want to note that Roger Ebert said in one of his reviews that this was one of the films that brought back Western films in cinema. So I hope you enjoyed this portion. Next, follow me to the pinball portion of the film. Guys, welcome to the pinball portion, my favorite part of this feature. So as you know, this was released in 1994 by Data East, and actually this was the last table released by Data East before they sold their operations to Sega. So I was just looking at the dot matrix display, the DMD, and I saw Sonic the Hedgehog on it. And so that is because when I was reading, Sega had to continue the production lineup for this table, so they had to keep on making this machine after they bought it. There he is, after they bought out Data East. So that is really cool to note. Also, you'll notice that there's a big toy there of the riverboat steamer. The they called it, what did they call it? The Lunar Bell. They called it the Lorne Bell. Yeah, aboard the Lorne Bell. So that's the big riverboat steamer where the poker tournament takes place. You also have a lot of drop targets. You also have some pretty. You also have some music from country artists. And then on the play field, you can see the three main actors in the movie: Jodie Foster, Mel Gibson, and James Garner. Warner Brothers actually told the artists that they wanted James Garner to be seated at the poker table. Previous versions, I think, had him standing or away, but for whatever reason, they wanted him to be seated. And so you can see there, they're at the table, and then on the drain, you can see the picture of Angel, the bad guy in the movie. That's like his reaction. So really cool here. Let's give this a go. This is a VPW version from from 2021. So it's kind of old, but it plays well. So let's go here. And like I say about this all the time, is that now I appreciate this table a lot more. Okay, so look at this skill shot: super pop, start mode, or lock ball. You know me, I like number 3, and I just missed them all. Wow. So I did it too hard. Okay. Raise or fold. Let's raise. Shoot 3 of a kind. So you kind of have to know a little bit of poker, I think, but nothing complicated. So shoot 3 of a kind. Okay. So where's 3 of a kind? Anything that's a lit? Oh, come on! Is there a kickback on this? Let's try the skill shot. Oh, the skill shot even changed a little bit. Oh man, that's too much power. Seeing an extra third flipper as well.
Don't fold yet. Your bet. Ante up. Hit hard.
Okay, so 250,000 a pop. Come on now. Extra ball. Okay, we got. Oh my gosh! I didn't realize how powerful this plunger is.
Raise. Ante up. Hit hard.
Ante up. Alright, come on now. Let's play for real. Okay. Will we hit the riverboat? Oh, 500,000 a pop now. 750 a pop. Oh my gosh. Oh, come on. Oh, that's a cool ramp. There we go, the Lorne Bell. Okay, we locked the ball. Okay, let's try a skill shot. I gotta work on that. $1 million a pop. Also, I think it's interesting that you know, Data East did a table based on this movie, because remember, for a long time pinball was trying to get away from being seen as like a gambling kind of hobby. So really interesting that they chose to do, you know, a table based on poker. But as you know, this is around the time pinball was, you know, nearing its like it's you know, when it was on its like way down. Got one drop target there. What's going on here? Shoot, 4 of a kind. So we lock balls on the Lauren Bell steamboat, riverboat. Yep, you got a kickback. Let's go. Looks like a time kickback. Nine of clubs. There we go. And then you have that rotating steam paddle in the background. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's do... There we go. We got it. Oh, come on. Are you serious? That was a pretty good third ball, though.
Dealer's choice.
Dealer wins.
And there's the balls coming out of the Lauren Bell. Well, guys, thank you for watching me play this episode of Maverick from Data East. Hope you enjoyed this presentation of Pinball A Movie. Let me know what you think about the table or the movie, or even if you've seen the show, the original TV show. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.